Are you ready for a weird late night rant as I hang out in my van? Or not rant, not that angry, but just discussion that's kind of weird. And I've kind of been thinking about a lot of these things, but I'll just kind of try this out, discussing this stuff just by hanging out in the van here, just kind of like without really any preparation, see how we do. So anyway, I'll just kind of pan the van here and give you a little bit of a show while I talk here. And yeah, what I want to talk about is basically relating van life to Jungian psychology. So hopefully, maybe I'll get a couple people from both camps, the van life and the psychological camp, that might be interested in how they connect. And you can see here, I have my attempt here at drawing a mandala, which is something that Carl Jung was into, these art forms. And anyway, I don't know how good that is, but anyway, I've been kind of working on it. Let's see while I'm here. But yeah, and so in fact, this painting here kind of represents kind of like the theme I'm trying to think about as far as van life, So basically, I was just trying to come up with like a deeper van life channel. Even when I came up with the idea of like hidden highways, I wanted it to sound kind of mysterious because I know I'm a deep thinker and I like to think about stuff. And so I wanted to come up with some deeper meaning to van life rather than just like, this is how you get free water. This is, money, how you save money, that kind of thing or whatever. So anyway, yeah, just doing a little painting here on my mandala. I just got with these paint pens here. I think I need some yellow in there. So basically, yeah, so the stuff I've been thinking about recently, um, and I've been doing a lot of reading, and well, a lot of times it's just I've been watching different like YouTube videos and stuff like that on stuff like Jungian psychology, and then listening to some of his audiobooks. Now, Carl Jung is very hard to understand. Some you get a lot of stuff, then you get a lot of just like where you just have no idea. But at least for me, I mean, so, but anyway, but it is very fascinating stuff, and I don't know how exactly true it is, or if it's true to a certain extent, or if I could say, but it's a lot more interesting than just like the Freudian psychology. It's a lot more fantastic and maybe, a little, some people would say mystical, but really you could explain it all just by saying that you could really, like he said, even you could probably, he seemed to think that you could believe in Jungian psychology, whether you were a Christian or even an atheist, just saying that it's just like the way that our mind is imprinted. We just don't know why, he's just saying, so me, yeah, I do consider I am a Christian, but I'm just interested in some of these ideas, as far as like, well, okay, the way I got into it was partially because I've been trying to become a better writer. I've had some success as a writer, but I've got a long way to go. So I got into some psychology stuff, and recently it was just more Jungian stuff, but maybe there's this persuasion stuff too, where I was interested in psychology as far as like what people respond to, and which would, the idea of like what makes a great story. So like people like Joseph Campbell, he came up with the book Hero of a Thousand Faces, and there was that, and there was also kind of like the science fiction I had in my mind, and it's related to that. So anyway, it was different ideas, and then um, so maybe a lot of it's just because of the Jungian thing. It just kind of provides a provides a framework for understanding things that you wouldn't. But basically, if I was trying to come up with a deeper meaning for van life, and while we do this, maybe I'll give you a little bit of a light show here in my van. I still want to try to get like a GoPro, because the problem is with a regular camera, it just looks so small. I mean, it is small in here, but I think it makes it look even smaller in the van with with if you don't have like a wide angle lens or something like a GoPro, So anyway, let's try this. Let's see. This is a good effect. Let's see. Fade 7 on my LED thing here. This is a standard. I think this is a real standard light strip they have here. It's like fade 7, and then maybe I'll make it go a little quicker. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, you can see it's kind of cool. I tried originally to put like I'm not much of an artist, but I became interested in this, so I was trying to like learn how to, you know, draw this. But anyway, yeah, you can see how as the lights, how the different colors get done. So anyway, so I'm making this van. It's kind of cozy in here, where it makes it, some stuff like that, like having these lights can make the van not feel like so like suffocating. It kind of gives you like, feeling like a feeling of, freedom and stuff, I guess. But yeah, so but the reason, all right, let's just talk about this mandala. Okay. Um so Okay, well, first of all, okay, Jung, he believed in a thing called the collective unconscious. Like Freud believed in the just like a personal unconscious, but it was like not very structured. But Jung believes in a personal unconscious, but it also said there's a collective unconscious, which is common to like every single human being, as far as we know. That there's certain archetypes. So it might be stuff like the king archetype and the queen archetype, and it's kind of unclear which ones. There's like a trickster and a magician and these different ones. And then anyway, and so it's unclear exactly how many, and different people are going to define which ones are the true like archetypes. But basically, it's almost like there's these different personalities in a given in any person, in basically in at different times we're acting in accordance with a certain archetype. It's almost like that person takes control. You know the king, the ruler archetype takes control, or I don't know. Anyway, or maybe they talk about there's other ones too, like, but anyway, but one thing he found is there's he believed that like these different messages that are in these archetypes in the collective unconscious would express themselves in dreams and also like in symbols, and saying that people like sort of like a thing where if people dream, or if someone just starts kind of like free associating, and drawing stuff that, I don't know if, I'm not sure if he really believed in like psychedelics or stuff like that, but anyway, but he might, um, anyway, that people would come up with the same kind of symbols expressing these same kind of like fundamental truths that are like in our brains that are almost like instincts. And one thing he said was like a mandala. Now, I'm not sure of the exact definition, but I know it has something to do with like it being like about, different, it's split up into four parts basically, not, but that's not strictly kept. And then it's, also like it has like a circle and a square. And I guess the simplest form of a mandala is just a circle. And he believed that actually by just getting people to draw these, and there's a whole thing of art therapy where they believe in drawing these different mandalas. And there was some other like woman who came up with like different classifications of these mandalas that represented different archetypes. But it was different. Her archetypes, I think, is more like a stage thing. But anyway, it's called like the Great Round. Okay, but anyway, let's get back to the point. Okay, so basically this circle, what he was basically saying is a circle is basically what he considers like the mother archetype. There's a mother archetype and it may not be like your real mother may not exactly fit that, your image of your mother, but at least like, there's that mother archetype that's sort of like deep down in us. And, there's different things too with the archetypes. Like if you repress them, it goes into your shadow. And then, so let's just say like, you don't like the mother and you say, okay, you repress the mother. And then because let's say, well, that's a bad idea because nobody really thinks of the mother as being negative. Okay, well, anyway, forget about that. So it's like a circle, a plowed field. It could even be an institution like a university, anything that where you feel like a belonging to. But I think it's like maybe I'd say like, a cave or a hole in the ground. That would be like kind of like that archetype. And I think that's how I'm thinking of like a stealth camper, like it's sort of like a refuge that you're building, that you can bring whatever. And what you're doing too is like when you're traveling around in your stealth camper, it's like you're recreating home in different locations. Oh yeah, it's also home, mother or home, that sort of thing, archetype. And you're kind of like, that's what I think about it, like going camping. It's kind of like you're recreating like home or like a mother archetype, and something like that. I might be a little confused, but something like that. And then I was also thinking too, like I haven't formulated this whole thing. Like when I'm learning maps and stuff, it's sort of like the map, sort of like you're drawing like mandalas over like the whole like world in different areas. And by memorizing it, maybe that mandala becomes stronger and you're feeling more of a sense of being at home everywhere. Oh yeah, and I was reading one thing tonight. It was talking. Okay, this was from, what was it called? Man and His Symbols, the book by Carl Jung. I'll take a quick break for a second. Okay, so I was reading tonight, and the book is called Man and His Symbols, and what it was is um it was the only book that Carl Jung ever wrote for like the, what do you call, like whatever, like the average reader or whatever, anyway, but basically it was it had one part was written by him, and then 4 or 5 parts were written by other like students of his that he approved of. So basically this he did this like the last year he was alive, like when he was really old, so basically he managed to just barely get this thing out there, otherwise, And it was only because he had some kind of dream telling him that, because he really believed in, he was a big dreamer, and he would dream all the time, and that's what he based a lot of it on. But he also based his psychology on the analysis of other people and different cultures and all this. Anyway, um, all right, but anyway, so this was actually not written by Jung. The part I was just going to tell you about, but it was one of his students. But anyway, it was about it was talking about the collective the collective unconscious and the visual arts, and basically it was talking about how there was a circle. Let's see, it was a well, basically the part that was interesting to me that I was thinking about is it was talking about the effect of, like, it was talking about these caves that were like decorated with these different animals, and then inside, like, so you'd have to crawl through this big cave, then all of a sudden you have this big opening. And so anyway, that's sort of how this van is. It's like from the outside it just looks like nothing, but then inside it looks kind of like, well, I don't know if it looks impressive or just like a mad scientist thing, but I'm gonna have it like a lot more colorful. But I'm gonna try to get people to like to add some who are better artists than me, if I ever go like traveling someplace again, because I haven't been able to get back on the road again lately. But um, get people to help me like decorate the thing, like on the inside, so my doodles here will be like on the inside of this thing. So the anyway, so it's just a big surprise, that's part of the hidden thing, that's like, that you get to see it, that was the big impression about, when something is kind of like, you have something like, kind of like amazing or beautiful that's hidden in a small space. And but anyway, yeah, but that was the key thing. I think that, yeah, it was that mother archetype, but how it is like you're like recreating home where you go. And then also, I guess if you want to talk about me, maybe I can see myself as being like, you know, part magician, part trickster, part um let's see, because I think, okay, I'm kind of confusing because there's also a thing with if I'm, this was, let's see, yeah, okay, the trick, yeah, okay, so I thought someone on YouTube at least explained that, let's see, was it like the wise old man or the sage? Okay, the sage is kind of like the thing you'd want to be. So you're a combination of like a trickster, a magician, and what was the other one? The wise old man. It was like so basically, I think it was like the trickster by himself is not good because he's got negative things, and then the magician by himself, like, and we're not talking about like real magic, but my thing, but just like the psychological thing, not like paranormal, that kind of thing, but just like in a psychological sense. But then, so anyway, being a magician, like creating something from nothing, kind of like I really like being like, part of van life for me is being an inventor. And if you want to look at my last video where I do a van tour, you can see like the inventiveness, and anyway, and then also kind of like control of nature. I was also thinking of it being like kind of like, it's almost like a sail. It's like a ship, the van, my stealth camper, because it's like, I have to like know a lot of things about the solar, the nature. You have to just be aware. So that's part of one thing. Like somebody was saying on one of those things. Okay, it was a channel called The Jungian Life, where they talk about surfing, and I think surfing is sort of like, to me, like similar to sailing, just, but sailing isn't like as physically demanding, but it's still like the thing with where you have to like be ultra aware of like your environment, and you're feeling like you're going with it. Yeah, I guess awareness, they were saying, because I guess their main thing was just saying you got to be aware of lots of variables, and that's how it is with sailing, like in a ship, or also like in a van like this. You have to be aware of different things. And I don't know, I'm just rambling on right now, but anyway, those are just a lot of thoughts I was having, and hopefully I can make it a little clearer and get it into little, but this is just kind of like my first attempt. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this video, because it's like, but you never know. So you could tell me like any psychological people who happen to find this, but I don't know, or like van life people, if anybody even sees it. So anyway, all right, I'll just be quiet for a second. Look at some of these colors. This is pretty cool, huh? I also have like this black light up there, like well, it's up in that upper area, and I have that kind of like blocked off a little, like some insulation kind of blocking that area off right now a little bit, just to make it warmer in here. I could see that already since I did that, it made it a lot warmer in here. So just from right now, it's let's see, what's the temperature outside? I gotta Okay, it's 31. Wait, is that right? Oh no, it's 37 outside. Okay, so it's 37 outside and it's 48 in here. Okay, so right now, and that's just with body heat, okay? And I have a furnace here, but I got a coat on. I didn't feel like turning on the furnace right now, but anyway. Yeah, so I'm having so I guess one thing is so this is a pretty small space, but it is these walls do provide a lot of insulation. It is a minivan, but one thing is it is pretty actually now, at least in this area, it's pretty organized. And this area is gonna not I'm gonna have like a few like main tools, but mostly it'll be like creative stuff and like, some electronic stuff and whatever. Um yeah. Okay. Rambling on. Okay, I know it's late at night anyway. I was just, you know. Sometimes you could do those things like yeah, I don't know if you noticed that. But oh yeah, one thing about the young thing too, it taught me just the idea that like the power of like the unconscious and just, realize that sometimes like maybe when I thought of that hidden highways, I just thought that was a really, nice name, but maybe there was something like that was part of it too, the motivation for the psychology. I was trying to like learn like the meaning of like the hidden highway. So that made me think that maybe in deep in your subconscious, which is below you, it's which is maybe more information than actually your conscious. And the deep in your unconsciousness, maybe you kind of had a deeper meaning for what that meant, the hidden in the highway. I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking about what that it's like hidden, like highways is kind of like a connection between things, so that's what it could be about. That's why I like maps and stuff like that. Um and then hidden, I mean just hidden and just always kind of implies kind of mysterious, and just by hiding something that's powerful, it kind of gives it like, a beauty, and you can also control like when you show it. Let's see. Isn't there even a thing like I think like the book of Proverbs, it says something like it's the glory of a king to conceal a matter, like to but well, that's looking pretty cool now with that fade thing, huh? Um and anyway, yeah, I guess the idea is just that like there's a lot in our subconscious, and a lot of times it's just like way more than like we realize, and so we might have a reason. That's why, trust your intuition and that sort of thing, Um but yes, you can say like the highways are kind of like in you, like these pathways, or whatever. Maybe it's like I don't know, like a story, it's all about like, stories in our brain, narratives, and it's like okay, I don't know. It sounded a little nonsense. I'm just doing a little, that's just a little free association. I'll try to come up with something a little clearer later. But anyway, all right. All right. I guess this is it for now. So we'll see. Maybe I'll either watch this and I'll let you know if I decide to just get rid of this or not. But, anyway. All right. Talk to you later, guys.